Hello and welcome to Weekend Analysis with Tom Segal of Pricewise. Tom joins me on the phone now. Tom, let's start with Fairyhouse on Sunday. How impressed were you with Jeski?
I thought Jeski was fine. I know he's going to be criticised a bit for not winning by miles and stuff, but I thought it was a funny race. The leader got away by a long way. He made his ground up really easy, jumped to the front pretty easy, made a bit of a mess at the last, but you know, it's 2.5 miles. I didn't think he did anything wrong. There's going to be lots of trials like that throughout the year. You know, and you can't, I mean, for me, he was more impressive than Hurricane Fly was the other week, for example. So I'm not going to sit here and criticise him. He wasn't visually that impressive, but he won a Grade 1, and he won it pretty easily.
At the final flight, and Jeski made a slight mistake. Zaidpour now is trying to seize the opportunity on the far side, but it's Jeski from Zaidpour as they run up towards the finish. It's Jeski and Tony McCoy will win the Bar 1 Hatton's Grace.
How about the horses close in behind him? They weren't beaten far, were they? And they're not world beaters.
Yeah, but that's happened in trials. That always happens in trial races, Rob. We sit here watching trials day in, day out, you know, on the flat, on the thing, and it's not about the form of that particular race. It's about the form they might produce on the big day. Now, for me, Jeski is a much better horse than we saw on Sunday. I wouldn't take the form with any pinch of salt. Jump racing isn't about form, in my opinion. I mean, that's not trying to be, you know, controversial. I just think that it's all about how the race goes. You know, that's how you look impressive. That's how these horses can win races by miles. It's nothing to do with them being miles better than others. It's just how the race goes for them and how it doesn't go for the other horses in the race. I didn't think the race went particularly well for Jeski. He did fine to win, and that's all you can say.
We'll come back to the champion hurdle again in a moment, but we'll stick with Fairyhouse for now. Don COSSACK, how impressed were you with him?
Yes and no. Yes and no, really. I was impressed that he could win. He won from the position he was in. Whereas I thought Carlingford Lock should have won that race. I don't know what happened. He sort of pricked his ears going to the last and sort of gave the race away for me. So the fact that he did that makes me sort of puts a downer on Don COSSACK. But then again, the ground was pretty decent. It was 2.5 miles, and I think Don COSSACK is a 3-miler, is a stayer in for the mud. I think some of those 3-mile novice chases in the mud are tailor-made for Don COSSACK. I was pleased with his attitude. I thought he jumped the best in the race. I thought he jumped a lot better than Carlingford Lock. Therefore, yes, I do think he's going to be a player in some of those big novice chases throughout the year over 3 miles, especially when the conditions are testing.
Anything else at Fairyhouse on Sunday? ANALIFET looked impressive, didn't he?
Yeah, looked good, didn't it? I mean, the problem with these Willie Mullins juveniles, he's probably got about 25 of them, you know, and I always get sucked into backing one for the Triumph Hurdle around now, and it turns out that it's not even his best one. So it's hard to know what to say about him. He looks good. Is he the best Willie Mullins horse? I don't know. Is he the best we've seen? Maybe, but I'm sure there's plenty more to come from a Henderson or a Nichols or a Desi Hughes with Archon or that type of horse. There's going to be plenty more to come from him from there. So I wouldn't consider, you know, suggesting him as a bet for the Triumph Hurdle, but he did look good.
And ANALIFET is over in the lead from Nobelin in second and Clarkham third up towards the finish. And ANALIFET is going to be an impressive winner of her second start in this country and wins handsomely for Ruby Walsh, followed in by Nobelin, who gives Willie Mullins.
As for the novice hurdle, I thought that was a bit of a funny race, really, once again, but the Tullow Tank looked good. I had the fortune, or the misfortune, I don't know how to describe it, probably the fortune to watch him in his point-to-point a couple of years ago in Lemonfield near Limerick, and he got beaten by Up and Go, who's now trained by Don McCain, but I didn't expect him to be winning Grade 1 novice hurdles over 2 miles then, so he's clearly improving fast. The ground wouldn't have been perfect for him. He didn't jump brilliantly, but he won, and so there's, you know, he's a bit like Don COSSACK, he's a bit like Jeski. I don't think, on what we saw on Sunday, I could mark them down as brilliant horses, but I think they're better than what they showed.
But it's Renetti now and Paul Townend who lead them down to the final flight. From on the outside, the Tullow Tank challenging now for Danny Mullins. Couple of lengths to Alonso in third, and over the last, Renetti on the inside, pressed by the Tullow Tank. They're battling it out neck and neck as they go up towards the final 50 yards, and it is the Tullow Tank who's got to win it for Danny Mullins. And
OK, Tom, let's get back to the champion hurdle now. My Tent or Yours at Newcastle. This wasn't bad, was it?
No, it's the same as Jeski. I'm sure the race wasn't good, but I thought it was when I had a look at the race, I thought, you know, this is going to be a tough task for My Tent or Yours to win this, because Melodic Rendezvous had looked good. Cockney Sparrow was improving fast, had won, you know, a few races on the flat, rated about 85 or whatever she was on the flat, and he was giving her £7. I thought it wasn't easy for My 10 Till Yours. I know people were saying it was an easy race, he should be winning and stuff like that, but I think it was a pretty good race, and so I was impressed with My 10 Till Yours. I thought he did it really nicely. Once again, he reminds me of Binocular. He got beaten in the Supreme and then went on to win the Champion Hurdle. You know, he's pretty near the top of my list at the moment, My 10 Till Yours for the Champion Hurdle. I thought he was really impressive.
My 10 Till Yours is over the last, hangs slightly to the left. Cockney Sparrow rallies into second. Grametti is third. My 10 Till Yours shaken up, leads by 3 lengths, and is going to make a thoroughly commendable comeback here in the StanJames.com fighting fifth. My 10 Till Yours is a comfortable winner. Cockney Sparrow was second, Grametti third, Cotton Mill Melodic Rendezvous only fifth. They were clear of in sixth place Duke of Navan and the Brace of Greys, Stormy Weather and Rock Relief.
Well, AP McCoy's not giving much away, but he'll ride this in the Champion Hurdle, won't he, over Jeski?
I mean, you know, if you're not going to go to Hennessy Day to ride My 10 Till Yours, you know, he rode My 10 Till Yours at Cheltenham last time. I can't see him riding anything else in the Champion Hurdle. Obviously, a lot will depend on how it goes in the lead-up races up until Cheltenham, but yeah, he'll ride this one.
Speaking of the Hennessy, what did you learn from the race?
What I learned from it is that every single big field chase is about jumping. And that sounds ridiculous because obviously it's a jumps race, but the 2 horses that jumped best in the race were Trio de Lane and Rocky Creek, and they were first and second. I think everything else was getting knocked out of their rhythm the whole way through. And when you do that, you lose your energy. Theatre Guide ran a massive race for me because he was stuck on the outside. He missed the first couple of fences. He was a long way back, and he was still staying on at the end. That was a really impressive run from him. To me, that it just looked like it wasn't a brilliant race. Just the way the whole race sort of unfolded, there was no one really jumping that well or going that well. And I think it was one of those Hennessy's where you sort of put it, you know, a Carruthers Hennessy or a King's Road Hennessy, or one of those where you sort of say they're good horses, but I don't think we're going to be seeing Cheltenham Gold Cup winner out of that. Sometimes this Hennessy falls into 2 stalls always. Every year there's a Bobsworth wins it, or a Denman wins it, or a Trebolgan wins it, or, you know, a really top horse wins it, or it's just a normal handicap chase, which depends on jumping. A la Carruthers, those other examples I gave. He did well to win. Rocky Creek, I think, will be better on softer ground. I think he looked good. I like the way that he travelled through the race and quickened up. So I think he's a horse that could win races. But are they going to be winning Cheltenham Gold Cups? I don't know. I don't think so.
It will be interesting to see at Fisher's Cross again, won't it, after his long-distance hurdle mishap?
I'm a bit worried. I'd like to see how he comes out of that. He went in all sorts of shapes and sizes after he made that mistake at the last, or the second last. So I wouldn't be in a hurry to back him for any race just yet, let alone the World Hurdle. We'll see. I mean, these Albert Bartlett, the stat staying novice, has never really had it down as being the best race ever at the Cheltenham Festival. I think that's sort of for the horses that, you know, the slower hurdlers, put it like that. I'm not convinced the form of that race is brilliant. You know, top form big bucks, I think, would thrash him.
And Tom, finally, give us one to take away from the weekend.
I thought probably the most impressive performance I saw was from Just a Par in the novice chase, the Grade 2 novice chase. Now, it wasn't a great race, but Paul Nicholls always runs his best novice chases around Newbury. I think that's the track he likes to run them at. I thought he jumped really well, looked good. Whether he's a top-notcher, I don't know, but I think if he's not an RSA horse, he'll be winning some good handicap staying chases in the years to come, because I think he jumps so well.